Hi, everybody. It is Tuesday, February 27th, United States. It's What Chaos, presented by Prize Picks. I'm DJ Bean, a.k.a. DJ Bean, Pete Blackburn, a.k.a. Pete Blackburn, and Sean DePaz, a.k.a. Dominic Hasek.
I'll take it.
Is that a cool nickname for Sean?
You could also call me the Dominator.
The Dominator.
I thought you were going to hit him with the a.k.a. Eric.
Yeah, I kind of thought that was coming too.
I feel like that's a weird, thing to do, to dox you for your real name.
Oh, have I not said that on the show before?
It's already out there, yeah.
I mean,
it's out there.
You don't know, now you know. My first name's Eric.
Okay. Well, Pete, do you have any grab ass or chit chat for us today?
I do, actually. Did you see the news item yesterday that Wendy's is considering surge pricing?
Okay. So much like seasonal depression, this affects me strongly.
Mm-hmm.
Not in that seasonal depression affects me. I'm always depressed. So when people are depressed during the winter, cool, nice.
Meeting you at your level.
People are mad about this Wendy's surge pricing thing, which I didn't read the story. I'm assuming it's during peak hours. It's going to be more expensive, right?
When demand is increased, they're going to increase the prices of the burgers or whatever.
Huge win for depressed people like me who don't adhere to your breakfast, lunch, and dinner standards.
That's I had not thought about that one time. That's tremendous.
I don't
eat like a normal human being.
I go wherever if I go to Chipotle, wherever it may be, I'm going at 3:30 p.m.
Yeah, I literally had Chipotle at 3:30 yesterday.
My God.
Literally.
Yeah, but how is that a win? How is that good news at
because
all?
Because
we're selfish.
Bitches are going to go broke.
Fuck the masses.
Yeah.
I mean, at the best case scenario, things stay exactly the way that they are for you.
And as a depressed, that's what I like. Let's not rock the boat too much.
As a hater, I like that I don't have to deal with the consequences of that other people have to deal with.
I don't think that you're a hater. I think that, and I say this very affectionately, I think you're a disruptor. I aspire for us to all be disruptors. We're trying to be disruptors in this space. What other hockey show do you know that sits around with SM7Bs and hockey stuff and talks about hockey? None.
I'll say I think Sean has a strain of hater too.
Oh, I am a hater. I love being a hater. Katie has the famous quote. I forget exactly how it goes, but it's too much hate's good for you. Too much love will kill you.
Yeah, that's right.
Absolutely.
Interesting.
I just feel like I feel like Dave Thomas would beat somebody with a tire iron if they ever proposed this under his regime.
The University of Texas tight end, Dave Thomas.
Yes.
But is he into Wendy's?
Yes.
3rd round pick. Played for the Saints, drafted by the Patriots. Not a very good player, but hey, he went to Texas. By the way, Xavier Worthy is gonna end up shooting up draft boards.
He's nasty. He's so good.
Been that dude.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
He was the guy that this is a hockey show. I kind of kept quiet when everyone was talking about all the who could the Patriots get? Where should they take a receiver here? Blah. I'm like, just hang tight, baby. You get yourself a Xavier Worthy. You're in good shape. Bad news. Do you have thoughts on Wendy's?
Yeah, I just think that Dave Thomas would literally murder somebody if they tried to pull this bullshit. It's bullshit. If there is more demand at a certain time, hire more staff. Hire more inventory.
No, I mean I don't think that's what it's. It's
like fresh,
Uber.
never frozen.
It's like the Uber thing. It's like if I can make more money here, why wouldn't I?
Because you should care about your customers.
I was having this conversation with my friend. Welcome to the 21st century. No one does anything for the right reasons.
We don't have to accept things
Hustle
just
culture,
baby.
Worse.
No, yeah, don't go to Wendy's then. But the idea that Wendy's themselves have to take the moral high ground, it's not how this works.
It's not the moral high ground. It's literally just good business ethics.
It's not. Well, yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Ethics are dead. It's just business.
Ethics should not be dead. We should kill them.
Also,
well within your rights.
Here's what I do like about this.
As somebody who stands on moral high ground, I say we murder them.
Here's what I do like about this. Somebody up high at Domino's once said, we're not really a pizza company. We're a tech company that sells pizza, which is fucking rad because that should turn people off, but you're Domino's, so people are still gonna fucking hammer that Domino's button.
Now I get to watch you lie to me about when my pizza's in the oven because that thing's not accurate at all.
It's not accurate at all, but like I respect Domino's for that. And people are like, Domino's pizza isn't very good. I'm like, yeah, it's because they're a fucking tech company.
They got good pizza for a tech company.
I like that this is Wendy's embracing the fast food tech company model, and I like that.
My thing is I would rather them just uniformly raise the prices. I would rather just know what I'm going to be spending.
You're leaving me, Sean. No, we were together on this.
There's enough guilt that comes with ordering like a burger at 11:30 p.m. Having to pay surge pricing for a burger at 11:30 p.m. They're going to give people the worst fucking scaries the next day.
No, but see, this is where we disagree because my opinion is, like, you were the loser though. Like, they set these prices. You knew, like, you're gonna have to pay more, and you still win.
So you are you're a hater. You're a staunch capitalist. You're kind of a Republican.
I'm not. I'm a libertarian. No, I am a realist. Like, I'm fully like this 21st century.
Don't play yourself.
Late stage capitalism. We know what's going on. Like, the idea, like, if you're gonna lie to yourself and be like, these companies should be nicer, well, then you're already losing.
They should. Every company should operate more like Costco. The Costco CEO literally threatened to kill somebody for suggesting that they raise the price.
I believe
it.
So that has been outed as like at
don't
the
you
very
dare,
least
don't
exaggerated.
Don't you dare say that.
So wait,
to
you
me.
don't know that? That's been like.
Don't you dare say that to me.
That's like that's like the John Lennon told his teacher she didn't understand. She didn't understand life thing. Like, John Lennon never said that. This thing has been said, like, it's kind of exaggerated, but I love the energy behind that. Sean will probably agree. It's unsustainable to say just do what Costco does. Costco has a bajillion extremely loyal servants.
Well, and they also have people that pay a membership fee. Like, I don't think they'd be doing it if they were losing money left and right. Like, they're still probably making money.
This has been really chit-chatty for me. Okay? A little too chit-chatty for me. Felger would die. Mike Felger is the executive producer of this show, by the way.
That we should definitely throw that on like an actual end screen.
Do you think he would sue
us? Yes. Like, I do not want to be attached to this project.
We say that he writes the show. Bad news, folks. It looks like the Golden Knights aren't cheating. Jack Eichel's skating today.
Yeah, but he's in a non-contact jersey, so maybe they're just maybe they're slow playing it. He might be in the non-contact jersey for like the next 4 months. I was gonna
say, so it's basically March. We can talk about in the next course of Grab Ass and Chit Chat. We could talk about leap year and leap day stuff. But so March, April, just got to do some non-contact skating for a month and a half. Easy.
Yeah. That seems like the easiest thing he's ever done.
Hey, Jack, how'd the knee feel out there?
Tender. It's a little creaky. It's a little creaky. There might be a setback worked in there somewhere.
Oh, yes.
That's the best.
Oh, I forgot about setbacks. Yeah. Okay, so that's fine. The Golden Knights get to cheat. $10 million. How are they spending it?
Cheating's still on the table for the Golden Knights.
Love that.
$10 million still on the table. How are they spending it? Elias Pettersson.
Yes, Elias Pettersson. RFA, 25 years old. Like, I was going to say having a career year, but he just had a career year. He's basically duplicating his career year. He's awesome. I think we've kind of known for a while he wasn't going to sign until
until the offseason. He said literally last summer, he said, I'm not going to talk about it in season. It's a thing like we're either getting it done now or we're getting it done next summer. I'm not talking about it in season. So that's why it was surprising to me a little bit that over the past couple of weeks, there's been, this is a big word this time of year, a lot of noise. A lot of noise around the Elias Pettersson
Good
camp.
show from Pete so far, by the way.
Thank you.
Wendy's, setback, noise. I would fucking throw a hat right now, but they'd take it back and say that Charlie Coyle scored that third one.
There you go.
Go ahead.
So there's been quote unquote noise around Elias Pettersson's camp. It came out yesterday on a show. Oh, damn. Well, there goes my good show because
it was called Felger and Maserati.
I had a
Donnie and Dolly.
Dolly and
Donnie and Dolly.
What is it?
Dolly, DHALI.
Yeah.
So
and what's the other one?
Without
Donnie.
Donnie and Dolly. Okay. It came up yesterday that basically what was happening was that the Canucks aren't getting any indication from Pettersson that he wants to be here long term. There's frustration there. I have no intel he wants out. That's from Dolly. Up until now, I always thought EP would re-sign, but now I'm not so sure.
Okay, so if he says that's something to worry about in the offseason, which sucks, but if it can't happen right now, who cares? If it doesn't happen in the offseason, you're going to get a bunch of draft picks if it takes so long that somebody ends up offer sheeting him. Granted, you want to know what you're doing in the offseason. You want to have your ducks in a row. You want to know where your money's going. If I would just tell the Canucks to breathe right now.
Canucks fans too?
Sure, I don't really talk to Canucks fans a lot, but I would tell them to breathe. Like Michael Bublé, breathe.
I could be... so on one hand, I wouldn't be concerned because he's sticking to the plan that he set a long time ago. He's not really moving off of that. But on the other hand, I think there is, like, if he's giving you no indication, like if you're asking him, like, hey, would you like to talk about this extension? And he says, I'm interested, but let's talk about it this summer. Like, if he's giving you no indication that he wants to be a Canuck long term, that's a bit concerning. I think at this stage, though, like, the only thing that my reaction would be like, my eyebrow has been raised for the first time. I'm not worried if I'm a Canucks fan. I'm not like panicking. I haven't gotten much indication that Pettersson wouldn't want to stick around beyond the just like not wanting to negotiate right now. But like, why wouldn't he want to stick around? They're having a great season. They're the best team in the league. He's having a great year. He seems to have kind of found his stride under Tocchet. Like, you would think that all the pieces are in place right there. But I did say it right after they traded for Lindholm. This might have a little bit of Xander Bogaerts, Trevor Story to it, where, hey, could this potentially be the insurance?
Oh, you know, we both said that. That was right. Like, you have your protection right there.
Right.
This is why I would maybe be a little scared if I were Canucks fans. There is precedent with this agent. J.P. Barry represents Elias Pettersson, and he represents Dougie Hamilton. This happened in Boston, where they didn't sign an extension. It got to the offseason. The Bruins made offers. There were no counter offers, and it just turned out player didn't want to be there. Kind of get me out of here. I'm going radio silence on you. So this at least has happened before. I'm not like blaming the agent for it, but I'm just saying, like, this is, if the player feels this way, he's got an agent with experience in this. And Barry historically, like, isn't afraid to wait these things out super long. Another Boston example would be David Pastrnak, his second deal, where it took basically all summer, and then finally they inked something. So maybe buckle up is how I will revise my message to Canucks fans. But ultimately, don't worry about it right now, because your team is awesome. You're not going to trade a 25-year-old stud. If you did, God knows what you would get. You would probably
not
get
season, right? Yeah,
yeah. Like you would get so fucking much.
No chance they trade,
but they're not going to do. But like, so breathe for now. It might be a problem in the offseason, but again, as an RFA, I'm doubtful there's going to be real trouble there. If you want to be concerned, though, there's a little precedent.
It's sort of unrelated, but didn't like the Sedins go to July 1st one year as unrestricted free agents? I want to say that they went to July 1st and then re-signed with the Canucks.
I don't know. I feel like that would have been... It's possible, but...
I feel like I remember that happening, but I could be wrong. I often am wrong.
You're thinking of Steven Stamkos.
Yeah,
I'm trying to think of like...
Thinking of John Tavares. He went to July 1st and he re-signed.
In 2009, Sedin signed a contract on July 1st, 2001. July 1st, 2009. So, yeah.
But like they didn't do like the courting or anything. They didn't have the legal tamperings.
But that's what I mean. Like it even if it goes to July 1st, like as unrestricted free agents, Canucks fans can maybe breathe a little bit easier knowing that it's happened before.
Yeah.
In where the stakes were way higher, and it worked out.
On the trade front, we do have an update in the brilliant Seth Jones trade saga. A listener suggested Jeff Skinner for Seth Jones. Skinner has 3 more years after this at $9 million. I want Sean's thoughts on this, but basically my read on it is the Blackhawks already have a Jeff Skinner, and his name is Taylor Hall. None of these trades are happening anyway, but while we're doing crazy trades, how do you feel about Jeff Skinner and getting Seth Jones back?
I mean, yeah, my instant reaction was what do the Blackhawks have? Well, like, what do they need with Jeff Skinner? It'd be cool, I guess.
You'd have so many good defensemen.
The Sabres would be sneaky blackest team in hockey, A, B, which I would love. B, yeah, I mean, we'd actually, for the first time in what seems like ever, have a real D pair. Like, they haven't had a right shot defenseman in the whole Deline, not that it's been very long, but like the Deline era, they've just had Power and Deline. So having a real top D pair would be cool, assuming that Seth Jones performs like a top defenseman. But I feel like they got bigger fish to fry.
As it is February 27th, give me more on they'd be the sneaky blackest team in hockey.
Yes. Sadly, coming to the end of Black History Month. Next month, I believe, is Women's History Month. So another big month for me. But, I mean, yeah, Kyle Okposo, Jordan Greenway, Seth Jones, that's like 3 black guys.
Hell yeah.
Which is like the bar right now in the NHL.
That's a strong number in the NHL these days.
I think the Skinner for Jones trade would do more for the Sabres than it would for the Blackhawks.
Yeah.
Certainly. But I also think that's a deal that you can't do if you're the Sabres. Like, you cannot pay 3 defensemen like $30 million.
Yeah.
Oh, but how cool.
And also, like, the thing that would worry me about that right now is that the Sabres, like, it's not like this last year where they're scoring a lot of goals and not playing. Like, they're not scoring goals either. And Jeff Skinner is like, especially if they're playing the Montreal Canadiens, like, scores a lot of goals for the Buffalo Sabres.
And you know who doesn't score a lot of goals? Seth Jones.
Yeah. Or a whole lot of anything.
Dude, like,
but I mean, you know what would be cool is I know that you need to carry like a certain number of defensemen, but it would be so funny if the Sabres were like, we're only going to carry like 4 or 5 defensemen. We're going to pay each of them like $10 million, and they're all going to get like 30 minutes.
Yeah,
of
they all
ice
play
time.
40 minutes a night. That would, okay, so let's like redo the Sabres roster. Goalies, Levi, UPL?
UPL Levi, but
Yeah, fine. I know. I love UPL.
So do I. Do you see the video of his dad pronouncing his name?
No.
Absolutely. Like, he loves saying his name as much as everyone else. It's awesome.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a good name.
So in this new Saving the Sabres, their defensemen are Rasmus Dahlin, Owen Power, Seth Jones. We got one more. I kind of want it to be Connor Clifton.
Nah.
Just to fuck shit up.
Give me
I would make it Eric Johnson, but he's gonna
give me Henry
cry the whole game.
Jokiharju.
Who?
Henry Jokiharju.
Okay, that's fun.
Yeah.
That's fun. It's also I mean, it's quite young. You're putting them in another situation where it's Seth Jones and a bunch of 4-year-olds.
Why would I want to change that?
But that's cool.
Why would I want to change that?
Would that be cool? Yeah, that would for sure be cooler than the current Seth Jones and a bunch of 4-year-old situation.
Yes.
Although, shout out, I mean,
They have
we love
a bunch
Vlasic.
of good 4-year-olds in Buffalo.
Chicago's got a lot of good 4-year-olds too, man. Chicago's got fucking Korchinski.
They have a couple.
They have like the best 4-year-old ever.
They have the best 4-year-old ever.
but he plays the stupid position. We only
What,
build
forward?
Yeah, we only build teams that have 4 total defensemen, 2 cool goalies, and we keep JJ up front.
I don't
for
like
sure.
the, I don't like the chat
Seth
talking
Jones
about
is
my
not
Sabres.
going to get traded.
No.
He's not. I'm telling you, it's a fun hypothetical. We're being creative.
You know what's not a fun hypothetical is anything that has to do with trading Casey Middlestat. I don't want it. I want Casey to retire.
Those I don't know
Buffalo
how
Sabre.
hypothetical that
Especially
is.
for
Yeah, that
okay.
seems
I mean,
Realistic.
I don't want him for Nazem Kadri. I'll say that
Why not?
because I like Casey Middlestat.
Yeah, I also like Casey Middlestat a lot.
The
I also,
Nazem Kadri renaissance of a few years ago continues to confuse me.
why? He played for the Colorado Avalanche and was like an awesome like middle 6 center.
Right, but I mean, you'd seen him when he's in a stupid situation already.
Right, yeah.
So you're like...
I mean, that was always not going to go super well.
Right. It's like, all right, let's take... It was I'm trying to think of like where players in other sports go to just have like one good year. Oh, people would do it with the Patriots. They just like go to the Patriots for 1 year, revive your career, then get a huge ass bag, and then everyone's like, why does this guy suck away from Belichick? It's like, he just sucks.
It's the Shane Gostisbehere and the Coyotes.
Kadri doesn't suck, but like if you play him over what he is,
the Sabres aren't
you're
good
going
enough,
to be disappointed.
The Sabres are not good enough for him to be the Nazem Kadri of Colorado.
No, definitely not.
So like,
no chance.
No, thank you.
To tell you what, you guys ever wonder what Andrew Schultz is up to?
All the time.
Often. This morning,
I saw a tweet about Andrew Schultz yesterday.
What was it?
Across my it was somebody saying like, hey, compare Andrew Schultz when he has a white guest versus a black guest and how he talks.
Is he one of those?
The code switching, I believe they call it.
Mm-hmm.
I always knew the term to be black scent, but is that
I think
same
code switching?
Code switching is usually applied more to like people of color and how they navigate talking to white people, like me specifically. Like I code switch, you talk different around people of color than.
Okay, so but that is more like I would say American history based.
Yeah,
unfortunately.
Yeah,
you know who
this is just white people being uncomfortable around people who don't look like them. Unfortunately,
no. Yes. You know who used to get those accusations quite a bit was Carson Daly on TRL. Whenever he would have like a rapper.
Oh no way! He like always sounded super white. Really?
I believe that Carson Daly used to get had the accusations levied against him.
Oh, crazy to me! I don't remember that being the case, but there are for sure like Simon Rex would do it.
Oh yeah.
Simon Rex, in fact, I think he kind of got into a code that was not his original code, and just he Elvis voiced himself.
Tweaked the source code.
He what's his face? What's the Austin Butler?
Yeah.
He was code switching and then just got stuck there, and everyone was like,
"It's like when you flip your
Aquafina,
eyelids
dude,
or
stop
cross
doing
your
this.
eyes," and your mom says, "Don't do that; it'll get stuck like that."
Did Aquafina ever get like uncanceled for people realizing that she did that somewhat?
I don't know.
Although
haven't heard from her in a bit.
I have to check. We talked about this with comedian Jimmy O Yang, where he was like, if you learned television, if you learned like English from television, he's like, I talk like Chris Rock, and it's because like he was like Chris Rock taught me English.
He literally said I learned English from BET.
All right, so that's Prize Picks. You could use code WhatChaos. Football season may be over, but the action on the floor is heating up. Floor? What's the floor? I don't know. College basketball? That's going to be coming. There's no shortage of high stakes basketball moments this time of year. Get in on the excitement with Prize Picks, America's #1 fantasy sports app, where you can turn your hoops knowledge into serious, wet, hard cash. You can also do it with hockey. You could also do it with, you want to do the men's basketball tournament? You want to sprinkle a little on, you hear about this Caitlin Clark?
What a dog.
Caitlin Clark. Dog. You know what I would say if I met Caitlin Clark?
Dog.
Big dog.
Tiger Woods voice.
No,
Josh Allen voice.
Oh, was Josh Allen the one who said big dog?
No. It's funny. We had a conversation about this before you got here.
Okay.
It was Tiger Woods, but then a video went out of him saying it like 80 times.
He saw Tiger Woods do it, was very excited, and just made
Josh
it his...
Allen said?
Yeah.
Oh,
and
God,
so now
I love
it
that.
becomes
Josh
Josh
Allen's
Allen.
the best, man.
He is the coolest.
There's a super cut of
high
him
school tweets.
just going up. It's like the Keenan Allen Let's Ride thing.
Yeah.
He's just going up to everybody being like, big dog. Big dog. So go to prizepicks.com/whatchaos and use code WhatChaos for a first deposit match up to $100. That's prizepicks.com/whatchaos and use code WhatChaos. Pick more, pick less. It's that easy, big dog.
I got an idea.
We confront Aquafina.
No. We have our What Chaos logo, which is a dog riding a hockey truck. Don't call it the other thing. Yep. It's a dog riding a hockey truck. We should make that gigantic on a t-shirt and then just put the words big dog over it.
That's amazing. Isn't there the... Oh, no, it's the black dog. That's like the Martha's Vineyard.
Martha's Vineyard, yeah. And then they have the bad dog, which is an alteration of that. And it's a dog taking a shit. You ever seen one of those?
No, but I have seen Jim Watterson's character Calvin taking a whiz on all sorts of stuff.
That's true.
Have you seen that, Sean?
Plenty of Yankees logos.
He pisses everywhere.
Pisses on everything.
I mean, we should make old Calvin when like you're actually peeing a lot.
He's just pissing his pants.
And he's just old, just like an older version of Calvin, and he's pissing everywhere, and you're like, that I can believe. I don't believe this little child is pissing every 3 seconds.
People forget the very first scene of the show, Succession, is Logan Roy taking a piss on the floor.
That is true.
I was just having a conversation with my friends the other day about Depends commercials. Because I find them to be the funniest thing ever because they're like, you could do all this stuff now because you can trust Depends. And I'm like, and then they show this woman doing all this stuff. And I'm like,
she's pissing
her pants right now.
She's pissing right
but
there.
She's at a carnival on a ride. She's pissing her pants right now.
Love that.
The chat is hooting and hollering, saying, great show. We got some funny stuff, fellas. Lots of laughs. Somebody who's saying this is their first time catching a live show. Make sure you smash the subscribe button. YouTube means a lot to us. We haven't done the like spike yet. I'm leaving Pete to do that. He's going to do it at some point. Yeah. But for now, we got to talk about the Bruins and Oilers because that's all we do on this show. And an eventful evening last night. The Oilers to Jim Hiller. You ruined my fucking life. They got revenge. Zach Hyman scores in his 5th straight game. He's got 6 goals over his last 5 games. The man is just on fire, but what else is new? Connor McDavid, don't give one fuck about scoring goals, but it's okay. Oilers come back, and they have snapped their 3-game skid. Stanley Cup back on?
Stanley Cup back on. I don't know if I trust the Oilers, but they're winning me back. I'm never fully out on the Oilers. I will tell you what. The Connor McDavid stat line over the past handful of games plus has been amazing. So, 10 games without a goal. Fraud watch activated. I think Connor McDavid officially on fraud watch. 10 games without a goal. Pretty embarrassing. But in those 10 games, 23 assists, which is fucking hilarious. And particularly over the last 8 games, because in those 10 games, he only has 1 game without a point. And that was the 2nd game. And then the 8 games since, he's got 20 assists and only 1 1-point game in those 8 games. So he's got 1 1-point game, 5 2-point games, 1 3-point game, and 1 6-point game.
He is
hilarious.
A miracle. He is hilarious. He has vowed to not shoot the puck anymore. Mm-hmm. He said he's donezo. He's just going to rack up assists, which the new Connor McDavid is just going to get assists from now on and probably lead the league in points is the new, if you took away Wayne Gretzky's goals, he'd still be the all-time points leader.
I was going to ask, do you think that Connor McDavid could still win the Hart if he did not score a goal from now until the end of the season?
So that's a souped-up version of what I was going to ask. You making me sound like a little wimpy boy. I was going to say, can Connor McDavid win the Hart if he's just taken 10-game breaks from scoring goals? Because our favorite thing about Connor McDavid is watching him do end-to-end rushes and all these crazy things and finish it off with a nice little goal. Now that he's got Zach Hyman, he can just shove the puck at him. He does his work for him. He's always going to be compared to himself. So it's kind of like if Mahomes has a down season, he's still going to be the best player in the NFL. So can Connor McDavid still win the Hart just going 10 games without a goal? You're saying the rest of the season without a goal?
Rest of the season without a goal. So he's played 54 games. He's got 21 goals and 70 assists. So he's got 91 points in 54 games. And if he doesn't score a goal for the rest of the season, he'll finish with 21. But you got to think he's producing at like a 2.5 point per game pace with just assists. He could theoretically finish with like 135, 140 points.
The chat notes that if Connor McDavid goes the rest of the season without scoring a goal, he for sure has to be my favorite player.
Why?
Because I don't like stoppages in play.
Fair enough. But, I mean, he's still contributing to stoppages in play, obviously.
Yeah, but Zach Hyman, have you seen Zach Hyman celebrate? Tidy. Quick.
He is
Let's get back out there.
Quick.
He throws it quick. He's Tim Wakefield of goal celebrations.
Zach Hyman scored a goal from outside of a 5-foot radius of the net yesterday, and I spent 35 minutes looking for the appropriate reaction gif, and then like by the time I found one, I was like, that goal was an hour ago. I can't send this.
I almost rewound. I was like, that was Hyman, right?
He scored from like the dot, and it was the most impressive thing I've ever seen, because I've never seen Zach Hyman score from inside the like the house.
There was a late goal
outside the house.
There was a late goal. I think it was Bouchard. I texted you guys after. I was like, look, I know they're the Oilers and they should be allowed to do whatever they want because they're going to fuck it up anyway. But it should borderline be illegal to have McDavid, Draisaitl, Hyman, and Bouchard. You could have anybody else you want as the fifth person. Those four on the ice at the same time in the offensive zone. Holy my God.
Bouchard had a good game last night.
He's awesome, man.
He is awesome. I was a big fan of his when I like looked at his draft tape, and like his shot rocks. I didn't think that he was going to be what he is now. I thought that he was just going to be like one of those like power play quarterback, like third pairing, like kind of a power play quarterback.
Like when he's out there, he's just like,
but he's perfect for the Oilers, right? Like,
yes,
yeah. So,
I love it.
So, got to talk about the Bruins game.
No, we don't. Most important thing that happened in this game.
Oh, that's
Gene
right.
took it to the streets. Let's see the Open.
In the Los Angeles Kings. Hang on a sec. I'm not there right now. I'm not there. Hold on, everybody. The snow starts to pile up. You know who's piling up assists? It's Connor McDavid. Everybody's digging themselves out. You know who's included in that? And they don't have any snow. That's the LA Kings. And as a result of all that, they find themselves in an unbelievable position, tied with Edmonton coming into tonight. That's Snowbiz for you.
That's Snowbiz for you. This fucking guy
never misses. Not even once. I don't think we've ever talked about it on the show, but the magazine cover of Gene is like the most ridiculous thing that I've ever seen.
You have to turn a Google safe image search thing. Turn that off. Type in Gene and just see where it takes you.
Gene on a magazine cover with I believe his wife.
I think his bride, yeah,
and just them laying in bed, presumably post-coitus or whatever.
Looks like an authentic picture.
Yeah, it is. The most, what a legend, what an icon.
There is no end to the rabbit hole of Gene. Like Gene who is still extremely in his prime. I would say just entering his prime. Like he's just getting started here. The stuff he's already put on tape would make a grown man cry. Like think of every person you know. Do you know a person like I know Patrice Bergeron.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know that I know a person who has put as much incredible shit on tape as Gene Principe. Gene greater than Patrice Bergeron.
I've never thought of him in the light that the magazine cover forced me to think of him in, which
sexually?
Is like he is like a sex god.
And
you know, he's an older gentleman now and we love him for his broadcast thing, but I've never truly thought about him in any sort of realm other than the Oilers broadcast, because why would I want anything other than that? It is the most perfect product in the world. But the magazine cover, I was like, oh damn, like Gene's got it. Gene's got it going on.
It's also the first time, and this goes back to the first time that we expressed our love for the Oilers broadcast. It's the first time we've seen Gene, and this isn't to be like he doesn't talk to girls or anything, do some middle school stuff, but like when we first talked about the Oilers broadcast, I remember saying like not in they're sexist kind of way, but it's the most obvious. Oh, of course they don't have a woman on that broadcast in the world, because it's just like three old Canadian guys being like, what do we think, boys?
It's the best.
And so like seeing him in that light is there's nothing that Gene can't do in my eyes. So when you said it's the first time I've thought of Gene outside of that realm, like I've thought of Gene like bowling. I've thought of him like I think that he can do anything.
I believe that he can do anything. He never slows down. The man has an endless bag of tricks, And each one is as good as the next.
The chat is Googling the Gene pictures.
Hell yeah.
Somebody says, oh my God, these Gene pictures. Yeah, well, how do you think we feel? Okay, so that's Gene taking it to the streets. Oh, last thing.
And the sheets.
I think it was Jack Michaels on the broadcast. It was like, what's he wearing? Like, how did he get that jacket? And everybody on the broadcast was like, yeah, Gene never wears a jacket outside. There are some type of people, I'm kind of like this, that will just fucking go outside in the freezing cold, not wearing a jacket, and it's stupid, and you're an idiot for it. Sean, do you do this?
I was going to say, famously, Pete did this in Toronto and then kind of screwed us because he left the jacket. We kind of got bullied, not by Pete, but just by Pete's fucking balls. We were like, we can't wear jackets. And then...
Not a big jacket guy. I don't even own a winter jacket.
So I love this. That is, I think, which one's the left brain? Which one's the right brain?
Couldn't tell you.
Whichever one is the weird creative thing. I think that if you don't wear a jacket, you're kind of cool.
I'll take it. I don't own like a winter jacket. I own like a lot of like
you also
stylish
not to,
jackets.
I'm realizing like not to dox you. You also don't
leave the house.
Yeah, like you don't go outside like a ton.
No,
you go out and socialize and everything. But like, I can think of like 5 times I've seen you outside, and they were at music festivals.
Fair,
like with me. But I think the not wearing a jacket thing is a feather in the cap.
Well, so I have two schools of thoughts because like men's jackets are like my Roman Empire. Like I think about cool dudes who wear cool jackets, and like specifically Ryan Gosling jumps to the front of the mind. Like the guy wears incredible jackets, and like the Blade Runner jacket, the best anybody's ever looked in. Like then you've got the Barbie, which I don't think it's technically a jacket, but like the big fur coat. The men's jacket thing, like I think you could wear the most basic of clothing in the world, but if you got a cool jacket, you look like the coolest motherfucker in the world.
I completely agree. Very well put. Sean, I think you know what I'm going to ask you here. Could you say
Toronto?
Yeah, you do say it wrong.
What do I say?
Toronto. The second T is
I
silent.
put 2. Is it really?
Yeah, you don't say the second T. Well, so like that's how you say it phonetically, and I'm sure that like God agrees with you, but we're not a God podcast.
Which is hilarious because you grew up the closest to Toronto than any of us.
I guess I never realized.
But you know who you say it like?
Toronto.
I don't know if this is good or bad. I think you'll take this as a compliment. Chuck says, you know, Chuck says it that way.
Who's Chuck?
Charles Barkley.
Toronto.
Yeah, I don't know if I take that as a compliment.
And that's like what you're speaking.
What are your thoughts on the women of Houston?
Everybody.
Don't get me started.
Wait, the what?
The women of Houston.
San Antonio.
That's right. Sorry.
Yeah. When you see a fan of a team dressing colorfully on television, I always bring this up with Chuck. He dropped the hard F on TV and completely got away with it. One of the craziest.
Chuck can get away with like murder at this point.
They were like, hey, look at this guy. And it was like a guy dancing and he had some like sparkly shit on. And Chuck says like, he looks like a FAG.
Jesus.
He did. And then like they put out a statement and everybody was like, oh, fuck, we really like Charles Barkley. Did you just fucking do that? What are you doing? God. And TNT was like, we reviewed the tape and Charles called somebody a fan and it was weird. But so we're sorry you called him a fan.
I think
we were like,
Charles Barkley.
No, he didn't.
Charles Barkley has put himself in the most desirable position that any person in the media could ever want to be in. He's
getting away with hate speech.
Not that in particular. No,
he aspires to.
One day
I'll be able to get on this podcast and just let it fly.
I soft launched that with my own TV appearance when I called myself the biggest Bruins homo.
That is true.
Just seeing if I could get away with no. Chuck is on like the best intermission show, whatever sports broadcast that currently exists.
This side of the Canadian border.
That's true. Good point. But he also has made himself into an endearing idiot. And that way, he can say whatever he wants. It can be extremely wrong. He can be as misinformed as he wants to be. And people will laugh it off and say, Chuck's just a goofball. and he's just here to entertain us. Whereas, like, if he says anything correct, you're like, oh, damn, that's an added bonus. And like anybody else in the media, they say anything wrong, they're like, that guy's a fucking moron. Get him off TV.
He is also a hockey fan that isn't always holding a proverbial knife. And there's only like 6 of those I can think of that exist. You kind of have a proverbial knife with hockey stuff.
Sometimes.
You're more like, hey, everybody, I'm going to throw this knife in the air and see if I can swallow it. Like, let's see some fucking crazy shit go down.
But really, Chuck can just do whatever he wants, and everybody will just write it off as him being Chuck.
I mean, we've probably talked about that on the show before, but I just love that they have to be like, hey, Charles, what do you think of this Sixers-Bucks playoff game that you are being paid to analyze?
He's like, I'm watching
and
hockey.
He's like, I'm betting on the Lightning tonight.
They also have,
he like actually says that.
They also have a segment designed to identify how much he doesn't pay attention to basketball, which is the most incredible thing in the world. And like to Chuck's credit, like a lesser man or like a lesser entertainer would be like, don't do this. This will embarrass
Who
me.
he play for? Yeah.
Like so many people would be like, I'm not signing up for this. I don't want to look stupid. Chuck is so down to play the game and look stupid, and that's why I give him all the credit in the world for being in this desirable position.
My thing of, and we talk about this sometimes, like just between the two of us, the whole like I don't want to look stupid thing. Everybody probably knows their worth and they understand what they are, and unless you're on like the Dunning-Kruger scale or whatever, like you understand if you're a smart guy, if you're a stupid guy, or whatever. No one thinks, I mean, Chuck is probably an extreme case because if someone's like, hey, is Charles Barkley stupid? Everyone's going to be like,
yep.
Yeah. But like by and large, if you're doing fun sports stuff, like I don't think anyone's going to be like, that person is too stupid. Even like Nick Wright.
Yeah.
People like, they might be like, he's a shit or whatever. Mm-hmm. But the whole like smart, stupid thing, we all fucking...
All anybody cares about is entertainment.
Nick Wright was Syracuse educated. I know for a fact. He's smart.
I'm resigned.
That's how we know Sean's stupid.
I'm resigned to the fact that like I'm going to look stupid all the time. All the time. I'm not the smartest person in the world. I'm very rarely the smartest person in the room, and I spend a lot of time by myself as the only person in the room.
I get very upset when I'm being the smartest person.
But I want to look stupid and come across as stupid on my own terms.
Yeah.
So that's the only thing.
I'm being stupid.
Yes, exactly. Or like in the case of like who he play for. All right, let's make me look stupid. I'm signing up for this. It's part of the game. It's for the entertainment. Somebody in the chat says, sounds like PK Subban needs the who he play for segment. And that is so true.
No, the ESPN would fall apart.
ESPN would fall apart because nobody at the desk would know who he play for. They'd be like, oh, I don't know either. So.
And also the mouse would just be like, we can't have somebody looking stupid.
Well, ESPN has the thing too of we are presenting as smart.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
And that is, and it kind of feeds back to my earlier point, like present as yourselves.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's the mouse.
And if somebody thinks that PK Subban is stupid, then whatever. If he says something stupid, if he says something wrong, like that's the whole entertainment of all this. But we're all sitting here and we're sitting up straight and we're giving you the news. Like that shit has not worked in forever. And now people are realizing like 3 years, I say this very lovingly of Biz, people are realizing 3 years into Biz's broadcasting career that he's smart.
Yeah, I mean, I think that he's
he's always been.
I don't know if I'm ready to go that he's
no, but they're like, whoa, like he can break stuff down. I'm like,
he was an NHL hockey player.
He's an NHL hockey player. Of course, he knows how to do that shit.
He also does his due diligence, and we've talked about this he cares about being good at his job.
Yeah,
and that goes a long way more than being smart does.
Well, yeah, I think there is a certain level of like you need to care if people think you're stupid.
Right,
like, there is a certain level of like you need to have.
And that so like I can't accept is like not being
willfully
prepared.
willful
right.
ignorance.
Yeah. So that's the big thing about Biz is that he knows where he's lacking in the knowledge department, and he will go to efforts to kind of fill in those gaps. Yeah, and not just be like, well, I don't know. Yeah, and then he'll like be able to make fun of himself for being stupid when the time calls. And I think both of those things are important.
So the Bruins go to overtime. That was a very good, like, borderline heart-to-heart state of the media. Sean, how will we describe that in the teaser for this episode? Could we just say politics?
Say whatever you want. I don't know.
Just Charles Barkley says the F word.
Charles, right. Hate speech. Hate speech in the media. What are we going to do about it? The Bruins go to overtime for the 6th straight game. And they blow another lead. They've blown, I think, 10 leads in the last 6 games. It is unbelievable. They went up 1-0 yesterday. I tweeted, Bruins take the most dangerous lead in hockey. Just a lead Bruins that they have.
Yeah.
And I don't want to spend too much time on, like, what are they doing wrong or whatever, but, like, the long and short of it is, like, they can't get the puck out of their own zone. And they spend the entire third period in their own end, and it keeps happening. And we keep waiting for, and granted, Linus Ullmark, love him so much, had an oopsie. But by and large, they just position their goaltenders. They're like, you're not playing so bad tonight. Let's see if we can change that. See if we can force you to let something in.
The situation last night was a tough one to come away from, because at the same time that you see the same old shit happen with the Bruins, sticking to the script, you also have Linus Ullmark giving a goal away. You have the officials taking a goal away that probably should have counted. And it's hard not to come away from that game being like, well, they both fucked themselves and got fucked.
Yes, and I typically am not a big, like, hey, let's complain about the refs. Like, with TV stuff, whenever they'd be like, hey, can you, like, do you have a take on the officiating from this weekend? And I'd be like, yeah, it sounds like a bunch of teams have crybaby fans.
You're big, like, I don't want to talk about hits. I don't want to be a hits podcast. I'm a big, please. And I do complain
Reviews, same.
I do complain about officiating when it's so bad that it's unavoidable. But, like, the fans that are like, oh, refs, hard to beat the other team when the refs are wearing their jersey. Like, that's the biggest loser fan behavior.
Plus, like,
that exists.
They're never wearing their jerseys.
They're right. They're always wearing stripes.
They have, like, a uniform on which they've settled. I will say, like, I agree with all that. And having said that, holy fuck, how was that goal not allowed?
Yeah.
That was like, I said, getting back to the, like, acknowledge if you don't know something. I've given up on understanding goaltender interference, like all of us have. So I no longer even know the phrasing of the rules. I just know, going back to Sean Earmuff's Brett Hull, there's not a change of possession. If you slam it home and there's a rebound, the goalie doesn't have the puck now. The other team doesn't have the puck. You still have the puck. It's still one continuous play. And Morgan Geekie just scored on a rebound. He just literally went to the net and scored a goal. And that seemed like the most Hail Mary challenge by the Kraken with 9 minutes left. Fuck it. It's a low-scoring game. We're probably not going to score one anyway. Let's take a chance. And somehow, against all odds, they were like, yeah, you know what? Goaltender interference. Fuck that.
Yeah, so, I mean, that goal was interesting, and like the goaltender interference thing is completely based off of vibes. When I see the thing, I'm like, I don't have a full written letter of the law, but I've watched enough hockey to get a good enough vibe as to whether or not this goal is going to count. I thought for sure that goal was going to count because we've seen it 1 million times and seen it counted 99.9% of the time. The only reason why, like, maybe there's a good enough reason to not count it was that Morgan Geekie, this is a Morgan Geekie goal in the third period, by the way, of the Bruins Kraken game. Geekie went down on his own, and, like, it wasn't really because of contact. But even so, I've seen so many cases where a guy drives the net and crashes the net, makes contact with the goaltender, and, like, in the same fluid motion, the puck goes in. And there's no, like you said, no change of possession, and it usually counts. Like, I go back to the Stanley Cup final. Was it Game 7? Like, there was a goal in the Game 7 from Bruins Canucks where Patrice Bergeron, I believe, just completely obliterated Roberto Luongo on the breakaway,
yeah.
And the puck slid in, and they counted it. And, like, he wasn't really, as far as I can remember, he wasn't forced down or anything. He just kind of like,
oh no, he was just like, I'm gonna like my move is I'm just gonna fucking fly into you.
Right, and that gets
if he
counted
dies,
in
he dies.
Game 7 of the Stanley Cup Final
on the road too.
I couldn't believe that that Geeky they took that goal off the board in that situation,
and then they gave like a makeup call a second later and put the Bruins on the power play. But then after that, they give Danton Heinen.
It's not a makeup call if you give another makeup call after the makeup call.
The first low sticking penalty I've ever seen in my life.
It's crazy. Yeah, they said. I think Jack Edwards said like he got called for high sticking at the knees.
Yeah. What are we doing here? Shout out Jack Edwards. David Pastrnak had a hat trick that became 2 shots on goal, or I'm sorry, 2 goals. Third one was changed to Charlie Coyle. I
got to say, I don't know if you're going to elaborate on this. That's Charlie Coyle's fault. Charlie Coyle has to be more clear as to like, hey, that's my goal. You got to, if your teammates got 2 goals and you have a deflection in front, you have to be like, no, that one's me. I got that one. And like, I guess if you celebrate it too hard, maybe you come off with the appearance of like, this guy is being a real dick.
Oh,
but
we got
you're
stories.
saving some people hats.
Yeah. So like, what do you do if you throw the hat and you're like, it was just for a Charlie Coyle goal? I'd feel good about that hat. I love Charlie Coyle this season.
Charlie Coyle needed it. Charlie Coyle needed that goal. So maybe you feel all right about it. But I mean, precedent has been set over the past week that you can get your hat back if it's thrown on the ice. You just got to make enough of a fuss about it. You see that whole thing in Toronto?
No,
where
I don't watch things in Toronto.
Yeah. After Austin Matthews' hat trick, there was a guy, a fan behind a dude wearing like a big fedora and like ripped it off his head and threw it on the ice against that guy's will, which absolute dick move. I don't think we need to get into it.
Should be dismissed.
Can't do that. It was also a custom fedora.
Yeah, he was like a guy known for his fedoras. And then the guy just like got chastised by everyone around him and left because he's an asshole.
Yeah,
I mean, you're right. I mean, I've seen someone throw somebody's hat at a game and get kicked out because we told on that person right away. It was the best.
I mean, I think that's fair.
Want to know the worst part of it? The dude who did the hat throw, it was on tape, and
it was Austin Matthews' dad.
No, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, my son scored.
Do something about it. When the guy turned around, he was like, "What the fuck, dude?" The guy was like, "He told me to do it," and he pointed at the guy with the camera. Absolute loser.
I kind of like this guy now. No, that's some bullshit. Not cool. David Pastrnak we can't show it obviously, but I want to say that David Pastrnak had the goal of the year of the week.
Oh yeah?
His first goal, did you see?
The casual one?
The breakaway, and then just like,
that was more insulting than the Ridley Gregg empty net slap shot. Like, at least Ridley Gregg looked like he was trying. He looked like he was trying too hard. David Pastrnak looked like he wasn't trying at all, and I think that's very insulting to the goaltender.
And we know from some of his shootout attempts that David Pastrnak this year is on a big, like, just kind of matter-of-fact kick of like, oh, I'll just barely kind of throw it on net, which is awesome when it works, not great when it doesn't work, and for sure draws the ire of certain Boston sports radio talk show hosts who are on 98.5 from 2 to 6 and aren't named Jim Murray or Tony Maserati. Like, I hope that game was not being observed last night because he had a pretty lazy looking, not actually lazy, shootout attempt to end the game. And that was that. I will shout out Jim Montgomery, though. He goes Charlie Coyle in the first round, right?
Yeah, and Charlie McAvoy.
And McAvoy in the second round. Like, he kind of always goes through his same people. I was like, put Pastrnak out there instead of DeBrusk, you know? Even though, like, DeBrusk...
Charlie McAvoy going second is...
It's a little change.
It was a choice.
It's a little change up, but he was a hero against Dallas.
It was a product of the road trip, I think, and sort of the heroics that Charlie McAvoy found. Unfortunately, tried a nice little slick stick handle and completely lost the puck.
Well, the Bruins are 2-0-4 in these overtime games. They're 2-2-5 in their last 9 games. Still 9 points in 9 games. Not so bad.
Yeah,
Bruins
loser point merchants.
Loser point, dude. We were looking at standings yesterday. You look at like regulation, overtime wins, all that shit. Like the Bruins have like 4 real wins this season.
I mean, if you're gonna hit an embarrassing and frustrating skid, it may as well be an embarrassing and frustrating skid that always ends with you getting 1 point for a loss.
Yeah.
So you can say what you want about them, like the fraud watch or loser point merchants. I'll take those points. Be honest.
Got some 3 stars. Really only, they got 2 stars, let's say. We got to say welcome to Stankoven, because Logan Stankoven scored his first NHL goal yesterday in his second NHL game.
Yeah, Logan Stankoven is an absolute legend. I'm very excited that he's
Stankoven, like Beethoven.
Stankoven.
No, it's like Beethoven.
No, it's like Stankoven because that thing be stanking and
it
it'd be cooking. He had a goal and an assist last night. He's 5'8". He's unfortunately Canadian and a World Juniors.
Fighting everybody.
No, Logan Stankoven is just another piece that the Dallas Stars did not need, but have in their stable. And yesterday, there was an important show development because I don't know what prompted it, but Sean decided to look up Stanley Cup futures and kind of assess the market and found that the Dallas Stars are plus 1,000 to win the Cup this year. And immediately upon hearing that, I have hitched my wagon.
You went on Prize Picks.
No. Because
oh my god,
there's no sports betting there.
Yeah,
I've officially hitched my wagon
to
the Dallas Stars. Officially hitched my wagon to the Dallas Stars as the Stanley Cup champions of this season.
Star up.
Star up. I like them at those odds, and they make the most sense. Like that. That's the best bet of those odds value wise. This season's too crazy. The steady Eddie team ain't winning the Stanley Cup. It's gonna be some stupid shit.
I feel like that's the exact reason why you would. The season's crazy. They're a good team. They have long odds. They have as good of as not, if not better, of a chance of winning the Stanley Cup than anybody else in the West. Like,
so you know what we should do? Well. We should do a bet where you get the boring, not the Stars aren't boring, but like the steady adult teams, which is Dallas, Winnipeg,
Vegas.
Vegas.
I mean, last year's playoff run was the most boring, methodical, surgical playoff run that I can remember in recent memory. And it was Vegas.
Team. That is very much like they are the most grown man team in hockey.
Yes,
maybe.
100%.
Right, but like, they're cheat and they fuck around. So like
they're interesting. They have storylines. They're interesting, but they're just so fucking surgical in the way that they do it. Like Jack Eichel said after they won the Stanley Cup, like we could have played another round.
It's like
I definitely agree with that. No, I guess we're defining the like steady, safe kind of thing differently. I mean. Teams that fuck around, and Vegas for sure fucks around. They don't like go out and play fucky like the Oilers do. I mean,
they've just got like
there's
a
always some
air of
shit
fuckiness
with them.
Yeah.
Their social media is crazy.
They cheat the salary cap.
Yeah, right. So like that's the main thing I'm coming with on that, but we can define it later. Yeah, I wanted to ask: is there anything bad about the Stars? Because to all of this, they
Jamie
add
Benn.
a really good.
They still feel like Lindy.
No, but Jamie Benn is on their fucking third line.
They have the stank of Lindy Ruff on them still.
No, they don't.
They could not.
The Stars branding isn't all that special.
Oh my god, maybe the worst logo one. The
logo stinks.
Them in the Wild have
the logo
some of the worst
stinks,
logos in all
but like that. If that's the worst thing about you, they've got a lot of things going right.
Great color.
Great. The color scheme is great. It's why it feels like they're kind of underachieving with the logo and the jerseys.
They don't lean in. I feel like I've mentioned this before. They don't lean in to the fact that they are from Texas enough.
No.
Like everyone in Texas fucking loves Texas.
Lone hockey team.
Like, why would you not be Texas? They should
they
should be the Texans.
Gun anywhere. in that
there's no
branding.
stakes.
I was gonna say like like if you're not a Pantera fan or something, that could be something to not like about the Stars, but I really can't think of anything bad with the Stars.
I love the Stars, especially because they have this like incredible mix of old guys that are still good and a awesome stable of young players. Like it is both like the past, present, and future all on the same roster, and that's super cool.
Yeah. Love it, love it, love it. Also, third star, got a shout out. Dale Hunter, 63 years young. head coach of the London Knights, just saying, eat your heart out, Morgan Rielly. Morgan Rielly would try to he would try to Dale Hunter.
I don't know. There's a goalie.
No, yeah,
there.
I was gonna say there's a goalie. There's no disrespect
slap
there.
shots in general are
that would be so
really
funny.
draw his ire.
That would be so
like
funny
point
if we found out that Morgan Rielly just fucking hates slap shots in general.
Yeah.
Like somebody winds up from the point.
He's killing a penalty and he sees a guy. He's like, "You motherfucker!" Lunges at him.
That's why there's so much juice in the Leafs Sabres rivalry.
He's a bad guy. Well, speaking of the Leafs, we got to start grading this slate because tonight there are 12 games. 7 p.m. You got the Golden Knights at the Maple Leafs. Second meeting in 3 games. Toronto smoked the Knights in Vegas last Thursday. 7 p.m. Coyotes at Canadiens. 7 p.m. Capitals at Red Wings. 7 p.m. Lightning at Flyers. 8 p.m. Senators at Predators. 8 p.m. Hurricanes at Wild. 8 p.m. Blues at Jets. 9 p.m. Kings at Flames. That's for the chain. 9:30 p.m. Stars at Avalanche.
Wait. Did Sean, was that your proclamation before the show started? You said we got a Western Conference final.
Oh, yeah. Stars Avs, a Western Conference final preview. And then I also said that Toronto and Vegas could be a finals preview.
Okay. I didn't know this was a show where we interrupt. But 10 p.m., Penguins at Canucks. 10:30 p.m., Devils at Sharks. Yes, I have written under Stars at Avalanche, Western Conference final preview. I'll tell you right off the bat, very good structure to this slate. 12 games is more than I want, always. But if you want to just have an easy night, 7 p.m. Golden Knights at Maple Leafs, 9:30 Stars at Avalanche. You could do a lot worse than that, buddy boys.
Yeah, there's a lot to be invested in. There's a lot to ignore, but there is also some real highlights.
Lightning at Flyers could even be really nice.
I mean, nobody wants to talk about it, but Devils at Sharks, that could be a real fuck festival at 10:30 p.m.
Hey, Sabres Panthers. Sabres, I'm not going to say it, but they've won a couple of games. I'm just saying. They're playing winning hockey again.
Hurricanes at Wild, not bad. There's a lot of games that are not bad.
Not bad.
So like Coyotes at Canadiens. Horrible. Capitals at Red Wings.
Involves the Capitals.
Pretty
not
bad.
Interested.
Lightning at Flyers. Not bad.
Not bad.
Senators at Predators. No, thank you. Hurricanes at Wild. Not bad. Blues at Jets. That one ain't bad.
The Blues are on my radar because I just need to figure out what they're about. They're definitely frauds.
I don't know. Right. I don't know. I think that's giving them too much respect.
Right. So. But like if you're in the playoffs, you should be a good team, especially in the West. If you're in the playoffs, you should be a pretty good team. The Blues have no business being in the playoffs.
Yeah, and I think that they will prove to not have that business. Tomorrow we will do Fraud Watch and Asshole Watch. Saw in the chat today there are some suggestions for teams that could skip right past Asshole Watch, but we must wait. Wednesday is when we do Fraud Watch, Asshole Watch, react to all that. I'm saying good structure on this slate, and I am giving it a grade of A-.
Too many games.
Too many games?
How many times have we done slate grades to this point? Like 3 or 4? 5?
I think we've done 4, and 3 of them have been A-.
And
I've told you off the record I'm only giving 2 grades.
Correct. This is the point I wanted to bring up. We've done it like 4 times, and every time I've tried to predict which one you're going to choose, and every time I've gotten it wrong. Every time I've been like, he's definitely going to say this is an A, and it's been A-. And every time I thought that it was going to be an A-, it ends up an A.
I'll tell you what. If you're cooking dinner, if like tonight is a cooking dinner night, and you cook dinner around 7, it's like a lowercase A, because you can have a good hockey game going, and then once you're done cooking dinner, which I presume takes 2.5 hours, you could sit down and watch another really good hockey game. That's some like low stakes lowercase A. But I need some real heavy hitters. Oilers not playing at all it's tough to get that capital A. So gets an A-, although pretty good structure. Just 12 games is too many. Too many.
Yeah. Somebody in the chat says Caps and Wings are both fighting for the final wild card spot.
No, they're not.
No, they're not.
No,
no, they're not. Not at this juncture.
Thank you. Don't need
not
it.
on February 27th. They are not battling for the final wild card spot. I think that's an interesting discussion to get into at a later point in time. But like that final wild card spot in the East is going to be hilarious down the stretch because all of those teams are
the Bruins
pretty bad.
get it?
Don't let the Sabres get hot.
Will the Bruins get it? Like you've got the Flyers who might be selling. The Capitals who fucking like the half that roster might pass away before the end of the season. They're so old.
Yep.
The Islanders are a joke and frustrating as hell. Then you've got like the Penguins, the Devils are in that mix. If they could find it, like I think the most likely scenario is that the Devils fire Lindy and figure it out maybe and get their shit together and sneak into the playoffs. But who knows? That could be the most interesting storyline in like the last couple weeks of the season.
Pete, I complimented you in the first 5 minutes of the show. I said that you were having an all-star performance. You were having a hat trick. There is one thing you forgot to do this show.
I forgot to do the like spike.
Can we do it
before we get out of here?
Better late than never?
Better late than never. A real walk-off like spike. Please, everybody who is currently watching or listening, like you can fake the like spike on Spotify if this is later in the day. You can just slam your phone, or you can just go to the YouTube page and like it after the fact.
Crush it.
But we've got a like spike. So 3, 2, 1. Spike those likes. I really do think we need a theme song for the like
spike.
Spike.
The likes?
Yeah,
I
we
mean,
need like a John Cena-esque like spike song.
Oh, I can do that.
Yeah,
that could be really tasteful and really fun. I think that we should just use the
John Cena.
What is he saying there?
Da, 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 da.
Sean, can we get a number crunch? I'm just going to steal Time Crisis verbiage.
For that.
Da, da, da,
what is the guy yelling?
I think that's just what he's yelling.
I feel like it's got to be a producer tag.
Oh,
it's Amadou. It's the producer.
Amadou, and that's the guy that does Annie Up by MOP. I think.
I have no idea. I've never even heard of him.
Check this Amadou's credits. I bet you will find he did Ante Up by MOP. That's a song about kidnapping people.
Nice.
You know that song?
No.
Yeah, you do.
Maybe.
Ante up, cap that fool. Ante up, kidnap that fool. Get him, get him, get him.
I don't think so. I don't think I know that song.
Folks, make sure you're subscribed. And if you're still in the chat, say whether you know the song Ante Up by MOP.
And
Sean,
if not,
who produced it?
Like those spikes. Spike those likes, like those spikes. Taquillo spikes.
Up, MOP,
get in there.
Producer. Ante Up, MOP.
Oh, so it's a sample of that song by MOP.
Oh.
It's a reference to, let's get political, the 1999 shooting of unarmed Guinean immigrant Amadou Diallo.
Oh, I was gonna say that's the only other person that I know of that's named Amadou. Bruce Springsteen famously had a song about Amadou Diallo, 41 Shots.
That's right. MOP, John Cena, Bruce Springsteen collab when?
That would be incredible.
Do it for the right reasons, folks. All right, everybody. We'll talk to you tomorrow. We're going to have Fraud Watch. We're going to have Asshole Watch. Have a lovely rest of your day. Ta-ta.
We all silly like the mayor.